Sam.
John, you know how some people, they have, they might say, look, my name's Gus. That's short for Gustav or something like that.
Is it? I never knew that.
Well, I reckon that's what I like to think. And there's one that you never hear, though. You never hear it the other way around. They never say, hi, I'm William. That's long for Bill.
You never do.
I'm Richard. That's long for Dick. You don't hear these things.
Everybody wants a long one.
Why does it only go one way?
I don't know, Sam. But, these are the questions that people have been asking themselves. They're in lockdown. They've got time on their hands to think. And they're asking themselves these long questions, these hard questions.
Hard.
Check this out. Remember this, Sam? The epic duel?
Yes, those seeing us on the YouTube video, they see us when we're allowed outside. Oh, not social distancing there. Warm embrace.
That's
a little antagonistic we were in that little clip. A little combative.
Yeah. Well, we don't like each other all that much, do we, Sam?
Wow, we like to have a little cheeky jab. I might, on the YouTube video, I can even give you one now. Even though we are...
Don't you? You're ruining the magic already. We've had this studio for about 5 minutes, and what have you done? Here we go.
We got a fancy VR studio.
Yeah, I just want to show everybody Louis. Look, this is Louis.
Ooh, Louis. I wonder what it'd be like to drink from my own face. Fancy mug there, John. Meanwhile, I'm sporting the Sam and John branded mugs. Limited edition. So limited, no one can actually get one right now. It's just me.
I'm so jealous. I don't even have one myself.
You should have gone on it while they're available. We'll have to make them available again. But, John, I want to get right down to something.
Brass tacks.
Oh, boy. This is a big topic. I dare say this is the biggest thing we'll talk about. Not only this month, this could be the biggest topic of the year, John. I wouldn't be surprised if other outlets even pick up this little story I've got for you. So I'm just going to lay it on you. I've talked about my personal development earlier in the earlier shows, how I went outside my own front door to look at the moon.
You did. You got off your ass, and it was a defining moment. I think defining moment for you, Sam.
Absolutely. And I saw that moon, and I wasn't overly impressed by the moon, but I was impressed by myself.
It was bright, man. It was big. It was bright. Come on.
It was a spotlight. But this time, it's gone a step further. I'm not proud of this. Actually, I will say, yes, I am very proud, John. I've done something amazing, and I stand by it. Here it is. No more ado. No more building it up.
Get on with it, then.
I pooed standing up. I pooed vertical, John. A vertical poo. Where is my applause?
I'm just
Do I have to load up my own applause here, John?
No, I'm just processing it, Sam. So I'm sorry that was like a bit of an anticlimax. That is just the shock that I'm feeling. Oh, you've got your own applause, do you?
Yeah, I've got something loaded up right here. Thank you. Yes. Okay. That's what I was expecting from you, John.
The applause is fine.
A little bit of that.
The applause is fine. I'm glad it wasn't a video.
Well, yeah, I did
Why?
consider it. I considered getting audio, but then you'd have to cut it off at the crucial point, or else we'd get sued by some sort of distress. Well, here was my thinking. As we were talking about at the start, we've all got a lot of time to think now. We're all contemplating the big mysteries of life.
Yeah, there's plenty of big mysteries of life that need solving. There are other things you can do, Sam.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Last episode, you were contemplating whether the Dalai Lama does a little wiki whack off in private times. Here I am, just thinking about toilet time, because we're under restrictions. We're being told what to do. We're being told stay inside, do this, do that, and all that compounds. And what have we been told to do all of our life? We've been told to sit down on the toilet, haven't we? We've been told you sit when you poo since we're born, since we're little.
So this is your fight against authority, is it? You're pissed off you can't go outside, so that's your little act of defiance, your civil disobedience.
I may have opened up a whole new
Gandhi was going down the wrong route. He was being too,
Yeah.
He was thinking too big picture and just didn't think, what if we just all stand up while we poo?
Stand up together, defecate. In public if you want, prefer it in private. A lot more sanitary.
Weird. That reminds me of something.
But the thought process...
No, sorry, go on.
Well, I'll say the thought process is that, you saw that... Everyone's probably seen that ad on YouTube. It went viral about that squatty potty thing, where it's a little stool that you put under your feet so you're squatting more on the toilet because it says, oh, that's how you poo easier. And there's all those cultures where squatting is just the way it's done. It's like, oh, that's the natural way it's done.
And a lot of the time I've been in like hotels and other establishments where they have signs up, like in Australia, with a big cross, like, don't squat on this toilet, it will break.
Yeah, again, more authorities telling you how
what
you're meant to poo.
That's exactly right.
So if squatting is apparently the best way to do it, does that mean that the lock closes when you're standing up? This was a challenge. Is it even possible to poo standing up, or
what do you mean
is
the
there
lock
just
closes?
no access?
What do you mean?
Well, if you're squatting and it's super easy, because apparently, everything's ready to go. Maybe you click, click.
So it's like the cutoff valve. It's like you got that twisty thing at the plumbers. They're closing the valve. They just stand up and it's just a cutoff.
Yeah, and it could be a good emergency stop if you're in a tight situation. Stand up. Maybe that closes it off. Well, I won't dwell on the particulars.
Please,
but
everybody
I will
wants
say
to know the results of your experiment.
It is possible, John. It is possible. And the only thing holding you back, it's not physical, it's all mental, John. It's your body saying, no, dear Lord, what are you doing? This isn't right. Anyway, keep standing up. So
there's a long way for it to fall too, Sam. There's got to be some splash issues. There's got to be some missing the bowl issues, potentially.
This is crucial. You really have to line up well. And this is where a lot of the concern came from, because you don't want to deal with the aftermath if something goes wrong.
Did you plan this? Did you have contingencies in case this all went wrong?
Well, I didn't have contingencies, but I was nervous leading up to it. It's like if you've ever had a cold shower, you're like, oh, God, am I really doing this? And then you do it. And now it's like with the poos. I'm standing up. It's like, and you get, once you're halfway in the mix, it's like, well, this is it. It's happening. It's a bit exhilarating as well. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. I'm doing it.
So is it something you'll continue, Sam? Is it something that is it a newfound sense of freedom that you'd find? It's like, once you've done it, you can't go back. Is it that kind of situation?
Tell you what, I didn't really see any real benefit from doing it. I did only see downside.
Well, you enjoyed it.
Potential misses.
You enjoyed it. That's
it was fun. I'm glad I did it. And I will say, in Australia, our toilets are a bit different. I know we have a bit of an international audience. If you're in America, I think there's a lot more water in the bowl. So
that wouldn't go well. That wouldn't go very well, would it?
Yeah. It's a localised sport. I don't think America will be getting the gold medal in this sport, but in Australia, there's a little bit of water down the bottom, maybe just a little bit of toilet paper over that, so it's got something to land on and catches the splash. But that's just if people try it at home, just to give them some hot tips.
Well, there you go.
Some tips about it.
Try it at home. Sam recommends it. Leave something in the comments if you've tried it yourself. Before I respond to that, it is kind of a little bit distressing just how much we talk about things like this on our podcast, but it seems to be a reoccurring theme. So we'll go with it. I remember back in high school, one of the favourite things to do amongst friends was to, whenever you'd go to a new place, you do something called the reverse kanga. Have you heard of that, Sam?
Oh, I think I know what this is. Yeah. Sit on the toilet the wrong way.
Yeah. So you got to sit around the opposite way, and then you leave it down the front so that then people walk in and go, "What? How did that? What is? What is going on?"
How rude! Anyway, and you were judging me.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
At least, sure.
I knew people that did.
Yeah, Mister. You're stealing KFC paraphernalia from the outside of KFCs. You're doing all this stuff. I wouldn't put it past you.
Anyway,
to do a reverse kanga.
I reckon any international people check out reverse kanga on the internet. I'm sure it'll give a good description. I want to leave it there, Sam. I don't want to talk about the particulars of that any further.
Yeah, all right. And I will say I did. It was just before a shower as well. So if there was any dilemmas, it was taken care of. If your toilet is separate from your shower, you could have some danger zone walking from one room to the other. So again, these are just some hot tips, some hot steps to let people know they got to be prepared, especially in these times, trying times.
It's unbelievable.
There's the big topic.
Sam,
CNN will have it.
I knew you were a busy man. And now you've proved it. I mean, even in your downtime, you never stop. What can I say?
Breaking new ground.
Always
the personal development. I didn't read it in the Tony Robbins book. That'll be my own little chapter. That'll be my own little chapter.
That's it. Maybe you need to go to one of Sam's events where he'll teach you the power of. Maybe that's what you need to master. you need to finally master your power to poo quickly. Master that in quarantine. Make that your little quarantine mission, and then you can hold seminars and really just spread the skill
Well,
with other
you need to
people.
spread the hangar doors as well. when
Well,
you do
really,
it.
I can't believe Gary Vee's not talking about this. It's a productivity hack. I mean, how can you hustle 24 hours a day if you're spending part of that time, incapacitated? Well, I'm sure
I imagine
doing
it
work.
with the straightest face.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably still on the phone. He's probably doing an Instagram live while doing it. All right, guys, remember, hustle every day, plop, plop, and then do it again, plop, plop,
Probably.
plop, subscribe.
I mean, he's a bit of a hypocrite if he's not, really. I've been doing a bit of personal development as well, Sam. You might remember
okay.
this.
Yeah.
This thing.
It's the dumb phone.
It is. It's
Alcatel?
The Alcatel thingamajiggy. Alcatel One Touch. Which is, the dumbest, cheapest piece of crap phone you can ever get. Years ago, we did a dumb
no
phone
touch
challenge. Yeah, you can probably find it here on our YouTube channel, actually, if you have a look. An
How
old dumb
long
phone
did you
challenge.
go on that first dumb phone challenge?
I don't remember. But anyway, it's been doing this on and off for a while, and the thing that usually gets me is it's the text messaging. As soon as someone sends me a text,
T9.
I crumble, because the T9, the whole press a number every bloody time, it just makes you hate life, and then you'd end up pissed off. I know. The one thing that's holding me back from the BlackBerry is that I'd have to actually spend money to get one. I'm really hating my iPhone, but I don't want to spend money on a new phone. But anyway,
BlackBerries are getting pricey.
the thing is,
$1,000 if you want my one brand new. Just saying.
BlackBerry, bloody hell, you serious?
$60 it's like an antique now. I think it's going up in value.
It's a better investment than Bitcoin. That's crazy.
Very coin.
So anyway, I've been doing this, Sam. I told you last week that I was going to do it, and I sort of started, and then I went back to the phone because it pissed me off. But then I started, sitting there, scroll, all this kind of stuff. But so I'm committed. I've gone on this. Even on my iPhone, I tried to dumb it down. I tried to get rid of all the apps and just have calls and text. I'm like, I got an iPhone, and it can text, and then that's all it can do. But the possibility that it could do more was something that I couldn't get my head around. It's like, I'm just crippling this thing that is possible of doing more. So I've gone back to the one thing that it literally can't do anything. And I'm doing pretty well, Sam. It's pretty good. Just I'm reading that deep workbook again. And for you personal development people, that Cal Newport Digital Detox guy, all about getting in the zone of just getting all, focused and all that kind of stuff.
And that was part of it, was it? Digital detox. So you were getting distracted too much from the iPhone. Is that the reason that you're getting annoyed by it?
Yeah, and just I find like when you really want to focus on something and get good at something, you got to really focus in on it and have the ability to concentrate. And I feel like all the digital, the phones and the replying all the time and just always being on and going down rabbit holes of surfing for this and then finding this, it just creates in your brain this kind of sense of all over the shop scatteredness. And then when you sit down and try and concentrate on something and learn something intently, because I'm trying to develop some skills now. So I'm in quarantine, the work's dropped off a bit, so I'm upskilling. I'm becoming an expert at something, right? That's my goal. But it's really hard to concentrate when your brain is used to pretty colors. So I'm jumping in, I'm doing it, I'm trying to train the brain to get a bit of focus happening. And it's going pretty well, but I find myself trying to find a lot of excuses. Like this morning, I was like, I don't want to be I can't look at my phone, but I want to wake up and I want to read and start the brain on that nice slow edge. But then I was like, but I got a podcast today, so I should get some articles and I'll get on the laptop. So there's always excuses.
Well, I think the laptops are a different experience, though. It's not as immediate. We had laptops before the smartphones, and we could concentrate back then. It wasn't such a thing.
I want to get back to the concentrating thing. I want to get back to the concentrating thing.
You're one of these people.
One of those guys.
Did I call you? Ah, yes, exactly. Well, one of those. What do you mean, you people? One of those digital. Well, here's the thing. So you're one of those people who have a lot of free time, or more free time during this during the apocalypse. Me, it hasn't really changed me much. I'm still doing. Well, I'm actually being a little bit slack, but that's even though I have no reason to be.
So you're just using it as an excuse.
Yeah, I'm vibing off all you lazy buttons.
That's right.
I lost my job. Oh, I got no work. Oh, how am I going to pay my bills? Oh, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? Maybe I should take some time off and take some personal development. But no, I'm going to keep at it. The neighbours are going off, though. They've got their music. They're
Doof, doof.
jobless.
It's a party every day.
Doof, doof. That's what would annoy me. Do you know that story where they were singing on the balconies in like Rome to bring everyone together and community?
Yeah, and I saw one where I think it was in Spain. They had some dude on a rooftop doing like some aerobics or whatever, and everyone's on their balconies, working out together, and Yeah. But yeah, I did see that one. Yeah, Rome, where they're having like jam sessions every day.
I would have been out my window. Shut up! It would have been the worst thing for me. It's all an inspiring, magical moment for everyone else, but for me, it's like, shut up! Shut up! This is my moment for peace and quiet. And everyone's going off. Yeah, get a job. Invent a job.
You're a misanthrope, Sam.
Oh, well. Misanthrope, exactly. Well, I hope the digital detox goes well for you.
Thanks, man. I will keep you up to date. I think it's going to be good, and until I get a text message. But until then,
yeah. And your audio quality on the phone calls haven't been the best lately. Get a BlackBerry.
Well, the phone costs $20, Sam. So that's a bit less than the $1,000 BlackBerry.
Can't ask for much. That's it. Can't ask for much from the old Alcatel.
No.
Some people who are struggling with technology is the Brazilians, John. I've got a story here from Brazil because, of course, with everything going on, a lot of court cases are done via distance, technology-wise.
Oh, yes.
And a Brazilian judge,
yes,
he was doing one of these court cases, and I'll show you the image here. Thank you very much. He was caught shirtless during a court session on Zoom.
Oh, hang on.
He's the judge in question.
There he is.
Here, if you can see him on your screen. He's just looking very concentrated in the corner there, not knowing. The woman on his left is like, oh my God, is Doug really shirtless? And the main guy's like, oh, I can't believe he's done it again. And the guy on the right is just totally disgusted. They're not happy, John. You've got to wear your shirts.
Who are these people?
These are Brazilian. The shirtless person is a judge. One judge, his colleagues. So he's with his colleagues. He's having just a little, maybe it's a bit more of a relaxed get together they're having here.
So he's one of those guys that doesn't understand that Zoom has a camera. Is that what's going on here? Sorry,
even though he can
go
see everyone else, he doesn't know that he can see him. They can see him. And I don't think he has the capacity to be a judge if that's the case. If he can't,
if you can't judge, there's got to be some judgment there going on. Where it's like, am I going to wear a shirt while I do this meeting? No, that's not a good judgment. What can I say?
It's like reasonable doubt, John. Is it beyond a reasonable doubt that these people should be able to see you? That's what I start to wonder about these.
It is funny. Have you seen that Hamish Blake's thing that he's been doing? The Zoom.
What's he been up to? Competition.
No. It's a segment or some sort of video thing he's been doing called Zoom for One More. And
Zoom for One More.
He gets people to send him links to Zoom meetings, and then he crashes them.
Oh, because it's so hackable. The Zoom is very
it's not
hackable,
so much.
apparently.
It's not so much hackable. I think. I mean, yeah, I've heard stuff like that. But apparently, like people have a meeting, and then people send out the link to everyone to be at the meeting, and you just click on the link, and then you join. And so someone within that meeting like won't tell everyone else, and then they'll just email it to Hamish Blake, and they'll be having their meeting, and then he'll just like rock up and just come and go, "Hey guys,"
got mold.
And I think he was shirtless in one, and that's what made me think about it.
Maybe this judge wasn't invited.
Maybe
Hamish needs to.
Maybe he got pissed off.
International.
But apparently he crashed an Air Force Zoom meeting, and now the Air Force won't use Zoom anymore because they're like,
yeah.
All right, this is not cool.
Probably fair enough. I would be worried if the Air Force was using Zoom. I have heard some cheeky things. Some people say it's malware. It had you could hack systems into your Mac.
What do they mean by that? Like, what does it do?
Well, there was a big security flaw in Zoom that Apple fixed for them because it was jeopardizing Apple users, that if it was just incompetence that it was in there or if they're trying to get some extra little data. And apparently it's pretty much sort of like a free... There's free levels of it, then there's paid for levels. But part of the way that they make their money is by apparently hooking into Facebook's tracking systems, and they kind of save all the data that you're looking up online and selling that to advertisers. So even though Zoom itself doesn't have ads on it, it tracks you.
Because I always wondered that, because Zoom, the free version, does a lot, from what I can tell. I don't use it all that much, but I've come across it, and it just seems like it does a lot. And you don't really need to pay for it, most people. And so how the hell are they making their money?
Yep, yep. And that's how they do it. And one last little court conundrums that are happening in Florida now, John. No, just so you're up to date on all the troubles everyone else is having. Meanwhile, we're in our fantastic studio here. Again, check it out on YouTube.
It's very nice, isn't it?
It's spectacular.
Let's. This is Melbourne behind us, Sam. You know, we're both in Melbourne. We may not be in. Oh, we are in the same space. You're right there. I'm right here.
Exactly.
But,
right. Let's do a little high five for the people.
Oh, this is going to be hard. Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so in Florida they're having trouble though. Apparently they're. Don't have the images here, but one problem is a Florida judge begs his lawyers to get dressed for Zoom meetings. So it's not just the judges, it's the lawyers who aren't wearing pants or shirts. But more troublesome is that apparently the software they're using, it might be Zoom or a different one, it doesn't cut to the person who says something straight away, or the audio might be crushed by someone who's trying to interject and say something, which isn't what you want when you have lawyers objecting to things. So the defense attorney or whoever's talking at the moment can just say, yeah, they did this, yeah, they robbed that place, they called me a name, and they just flipped me off. As long as they keep going, the other person can say, oh, objection, objection. But that'll be crushed down by the program. You can't hear it because the software will
it's that whole noise cancellation, not noise cancellation, but the whole, suppression, like other people's voices will get shut off. People are given priority, all this kind of thing. It's like that auto mixing kind of thing going on, is it?
Even the judge, he's trying to tell people, stop, there's an objection. Doesn't matter. The people aren't looking at the screen, apparently. They're just kind of looking off to the window. So aloofness and constant chatting is the next legal strategy in this day and age.
Well, that's it. And that's the thing. It's not like just aloofness, though, is it? It's kind of like strategic aloofness.
A strategic. Aloof with the eyes, but attentive with the voice. It's like patting your head and rubbing your tummy. Yeah, these Florida people.
It's untenable, really. I mean, the only way you could make actual video court sort of thing work is if it was properly set up without all of that rubbish. You know what I mean? Where you can literally see everybody all the time. So you got little, like you can see you can see me. Our audio isn't doing any of that rubbish. Like if I'm talking like this, you can just jump in and go blah 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 blah. You're supposed to try that out then, Sam. But anyway,
yes. I was aloof. I was strategically aloof.
It can be done.
But well, my thinking is it'll probably just end up easier if the people just go to prison in the first place and then they just call in on those TV phones, which they have in prison now. So it's like, look, cut out the middleman, just go to prison now, and then we'll see if we can take you out
Guilty
later.
Before being proven innocent is the way Sam would like to
That's
run
what we have to do.
Maybe just chuck them all in. Or maybe just let them all free.
Yeah, well, there is a talk of that from Joaquin Phoenix. He's saying, yeah, let all the prisoners go.
Is he really saying that?
They might get the cough. Well, I'm probably exaggerating. I haven't seen the actual video. I saw the headline, John, and I made extrapolations from that. But he's saying, if you can't protect the prisoners, I think he said, you've got to let them go.
What do you mean can't protect them? They should just social distance. It's their own fault.
Yeah, lockdown. It's called literal lockdown.
Lock them down. Why let them go when you
They're
can just
the best at it.
Oh, that just makes the most sense. If you're in prison, everyone's in solitary. It sucks, but it sucks for us to be home as well. Here I am, hard ass John. But
and like we're allowed to go to the shops or whatever. They're allowed to go to their little communal area. Just do it one at a time, not too many people at a time.
Limit the numbers in the exercise yard.
Put a little detergent in the shower knob. Bang, cleans them and the shower at the same time.
This is what I don't get. Is like, because he's like some sort of pretty ultra lefty dude, isn't he? Like, all these lefties.
He had his Oscar speech and it was all about we shouldn't drink cow's milk and stuff. It's like, oh yeah, I was with him when he said, oh, we should all come together and not get too angry. But then he's like, and stop having milk in your coffee. It's like, oh, I don't mind a bit of milk in my coffee.
I know.
I like animals, but I also like a bit of milk.
And this is the thing, Sam, is like, these people will fight for the rights of, who are we going to stand up for? Who are we going to, like, make a big noise about? And he's like, oh, it's the prisoners. We need to look after the prisoners. And it's like, these will be the first people to complain when they're, mugged on the street or, bashed or whatever by, like, a lot of people. Like, yes, there are some decent people in prison that are serving time. They're doing their time. They're, remorseful. They're just trying to get through it and they shouldn't be treated like dirt. But then there's some real dirtbags in there.
There is dirt in there.
You don't want them out and about. And they are people that have done some atrocious things. And it's not like everybody's just, let's just give everyone a second chance. It's like, well, yeah, but at the same time, you can't just be like, let's let everybody free and all that sort of thing. It's like when, what was that thing where people they didn't quite know how to go about it? Because I think it was the gay marriage thing in Australia. We were having that referendum.
Oh, the plebiscite?
The plebiscite thing to vote on whether gay marriage should be let in. And people were saying, the lefties' minds are exploding because, like, all the minorities were voting no. And so they didn't know what to do with themselves. All the lefties like,
that's not what's meant to happen.
It's like, we love minorities. It's like, but we love gay people. It's like, but all the minorities hate gay people. So what do we do?
Wow. So, it's a conundrum. There's a paradox.
No one knows what to make of it because you can't criticise them because they're minorities, but you can't not criticise them because they're criticising gay people. It's just an untenable situation.
They've got themselves in a little hole there. I know Kanye. He had a thing where because he's been a big. Are you
going to put something up here, Sam?
I'm looking for it. I can't exactly remember what the news story was, and it's kind of like he'd just be. Can't find it, but it's like he'd be cut off from all his pals and the media if he for promoting Trump and all that sort of stuff. But he went with it anyway. I can't find the story. I can't find it. But even poor old Kanye, John. Billionaire Kanye's having a hard time.
He supported Trump, and now everyone's like disowned him as a friend and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. Well, it's because the celebrities.
I thought I knew you can't.
Apparently, being a celebrity in like Hollywood and all that kind of stuff, it's like you have to be a lefty or else you're not going to get any work or something, or everyone hates you. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's the way it is in Hollywood. But let me just say, I'm not saying all lefty and all righty or whatever's because Trump burger when he was talking about ban these people from this and that people from that. Oh yeah, whatever. But then he came after my video games and Bitcoin, John. Then he came after my Bitcoin.
He did come after the video games. I heard him the other day. I don't know if it was recent. I don't think it was. But he was talking about how all the violent video games are the problem.
Yeah. Now it's gotten real.
It's not the guns. Yeah. It's not the guns.
It's Call of Duty.
Violent video game. It's Call of Duty.
Hands off. I want to play this. There's a new Final Fantasy out. I want to play that and I don't want to hear nothing about it. All right? So now it's all happening. All right? So
new Final Fantasy.
Whoever's... Yeah, Final Fantasy VII. You remember that one, John?
Yeah.
Did you ever play that one?
That's the only one I ever
played. They're bringing
it
back. Remake. They remade it. HD.
Is it going to be as slow as that one where like you walk up to a thing and you stop there and you read for about 4 minutes and then you move somewhere? I did like it. But, I mean, it's kind of like...
I think they have updated it.
It's kind of like movies today. It's like, come up with an original idea, people. Come on.
Yeah, that's true. It's all the same. But the combat is... they updated the combat, so it isn't just... Attack. Oh, use your magic. It's actually more real-time action combat, so it speeds up a little bit.
Because it was that turn-based kind of thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, they've modernised it. I've heard good reviews, so there's an exciting little nugget to play with.
Little nugget. Well, Sam, I've got something, that I love finding things that will annoy you. So I just wanted to show you a little thing here, Sam. Here's one of the most popular live streams on Twitch the other day.
Cleaning out my closet.
167 viewers.
Podcast.
That doesn't seem like a lot of viewers. If that was one of the...
Well, no, I can do that on YouTube, I think.
Yeah,
I think I do a bit better than that on YouTube.
You are more popular than someone cleaning out their closet, but not by much, maybe.
Yeah. You're doing all right. Jeez, what are we doing here? We've broken out the bells and whistles, and we should have just been cleaning our cupboards.
That's right. I mean, I'm guessing this guy is just popular regardless, so people will just... It's that fart in the bucket factor.
It's just farting in a bucket and people will watch and say, ha, there he goes again. He's kooky farting in a bucket. He's just cleaning his wardrobe. Yep. Here I am. Here we are, working our butts off when we should just be freaking tying our shoes to music.
We should be. It's kind of funny. But that one was for you, Sam.
Thanks for that. The trending tab on YouTube, I can't watch it. I can't look at it. I just get so angry and bitter. All the beauty channels are up there. All the tech channels are up there who talk about the tech and give their points of view on it. I have to do that in a funny way. Although I don't have to be that accurate or that in-depth. But still.
No, but...
It's so hard to be me and so easy to be everyone else.
It's so hard, Sam. I mean, it's not like you to be bitter.
Not like me at all. Salty Sam, what are you talking about?
Salty Sam.
That hashtag. Oh, how did you find that stream? You just
I was looking at Twitch streams. I was interested in like Twitch talk shows. I was just because we do a talk show. I was just interested in live streaming on Twitch. What's that all about? And blah blah blah. And so I had a look, and then that was one of the most popular ones. Is it really a thing like to do talk shows on Twitch?
Yeah, it is. That's my category. It was a lot more popular for me to do it on YouTube just because that's where my audience was. But I was wondering if you were thinking of. You don't quite understand watching people play games, and I don't quite get that on a lot of games, but there's some where it's a bit funny. But I thought you might be doing that with biking. You have a biking channel.
Yes.
Pedal bike business. And I don't get that. I don't get why would you watch someone ride a bike when you can ride a bike yourself? See,
exactly right. Is Vodka going crazy or what?
He's going nuts in the background. He's like, let me outside. Give me more chicken.
No.
I've had enough. Oh, you cheeky boy.
Yeah, it's that same old thing. My son watches people play games. I'm like, why don't you just play the games? But yeah, I do watch people ride their mountain bikes from all around the world. And I have a channel where I ride my mountain bike and people watch it. It's absolutely stupid and crazy.
Hey, guys, here we go. Here we go down Jump Run. Oh, man,
Come
that
on.
was tricky.
You even told me that they're okay.
Yeah,
you're lying to me. Secretly, like on the phone, he's like, I saw your latest video. It was pretty good, blah, blah, blah. And then it hangs up and goes, God, that sucked.
Yeah, that was terrible. That's terrible. Idiot. I've had a change. I've seen the light. It's like, it's just more of that, is it? Okay, down this road.
So now you don't watch them anymore. You didn't even watch the one where I did this.
I think I did watch. I watched until that happened. And you're like, something actually did happen. You struggled on. You struggled on while you broke your hand.
I did. But anyway.
You ended up quitting.
The other day, Sam...
Just like you do with all things.
What? No, I'm not quitting. What are you talking about? Yes, quitting, yeah. You think that I'm going to quit YouTube, but I don't think that's... I think I'm going to surprise you. I think I'm going to surprise you, Sam.
Okay.
A couple of podcasts ago, we were talking about the vegans barbecuing bananas and all that sort of stuff, and you brought up the ether eaters, which I'd never heard of before.
Oh, yes, the Aetherians.
The Aetherians. Where they just...
Taking the air.
How did you put it the other day? They
just sipping on the air, thick soup.
I'd never heard that before, and I told my son about it. I'm like, hey, mate, did you know there's these people that's what they do? They think that they can just live off that. And he was like, when did they die? I was like...
It wasn't even a question.
He was like, so when did they die? Yeah. So, like... If a 10-year-old can see through it, I mean, honestly, do these people eventually die, or do they eventually get so hungry that they eat and then realize, then beat themselves up? I'm just not strong enough. I just don't believe enough.
Yeah. Well, there is one
any research.
I know
I'm just
of.
asking you.
I have done some research. I've just realised Buddhist monks. There were a couple. I don't think they would have called themselves Aetherians. But there's this thing called living mummies, which is interesting, where a monk would go in like a cave type thing. They'd seal him up and he'd sit there and meditate. And each day someone would come by and make themselves known somehow. Say, "Oi, you still in there, George?" And they'd hear a little bell. Ding-a-ling-ling. So, he's still around. Come back the next day. George? Ding-a-ling-ling. Until eventually they come by and there's no bell. George sat himself to death. Had no food, he just meditated himself to death. Pure Aetherian. The first airbenders.
At the start, did you say like where this was? Some Buddhist monks like in Tibet, I imagine.
It's somewhere around there. If you Google living mummy.
What was the goal of this meditation? Was it to die? I just don't understand what
I think so.
And it's like, so you got to stay in the state, and then when you hear your name, you just ring the bell so that you don't lose your focus. And you're so focused that like you're just dying, but you're okay with it. I don't know. That's weird,
and then apparently they preserve themselves really well. I think it's a really good way to preserve them.
What did you call it? What kind of mummy? A meditation mummy?
Living
mummy.
I call it living mummy, but all I'm getting is Nkantu, who seems to be like Imhotep or some sort of cartoon living mummy. So I don't think that's quite right.
So it preserves it well.
Yeah, something, or maybe as soon as they're done, then they wrap them up. Maybe they eat a little bit of embalmy stuff as well, just to get the juices non-flowing as they do. Maybe I'll type in.
Why would you do
monk
that?
Mummy.
Why
they do crazy things, John. Because they're going to the next level of imagine being able to think yourself. They think yourself to death. Botka, you shush your chop, all right? Vodka wouldn't last. He wants chicken right now. He can't last 5 seconds without
bloody
chicken.
hell. But that reminds me, I was watching this Jimi Hendrix documentary years and years and years and years ago. And they were just interviewing random people, and there was a couple of twins that used to live with him, and they were just like, they're talking jive and everything. It's like, and they're like, I got a theory. I got a theory about how he might have died. I got a theory. It's like, maybe he was just in that, that dreamlike state, and he was just tripping, and he was just like, you know what? I'm Jimi Hendrix. I wonder if I can die. And then he just sort of slipped in, and then he was gone. And he looks like he was like, that could have happened.
I worry about that.
That was his theory.
I
we were
worry
talking about
about
this
that
last week, weren't we?
Were we? About Jimi Hendrix?
No.
About breathing, yeah.
Yeah, because you're so focused on the breath that if you kind of stuffed that up, it's a lot of pressure.
You can slow down your heart, apparently, with a lot of thought. And some people apparently could even stop their heart. So I try not to think about it.
It's not
like, what if I succeed? Holy crap. So you got to be careful with these sort of automatic processes.
You don't want to take on that kind of responsibility. You want to leave that to the unconscious. You don't want to consciously take on the responsibility of beating your heart and breathing your breaths. And it's dangerous stuff.
Out of sight, out of mind. You take care of it, unconscious brain. You know what you're doing.
You do.
I might try it, though, with fat storage. If I could control the face fat retention, that might be an unconscious thing that I might look into.
do that again, Sam?
Controlling. If people can see the full visual, I have side chins, double chins, and maybe I don't quite have the forehead chin, but on all sides.
So what are you trying to do there, Sam? You're trying to...
I'm trying to distribute. If I'm going to get fat, I'd like to distribute it more evenly. Whenever I do a video on YouTube where it's the full body, people usually say, "Oh, Sam's looking thin. Has Sam lost weight?" No, it's because my head is disproportionately fat to my body. You're only seeing my head most of the time. Now you're seeing the full picture.
So it's like a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'll go straight to my hips," and you're like, "Go straight to my cheeks."
I know. The most obvious place. There's other YouTubers who say like, "Oh, I don't want to show my whole body because then they'll see how fat I am," because they look fine from like the chest
You're the
to
opposite.
the head.
You just want to do these ones. All right.
just the body shot. Cut off the head, just the body. See, there it's pretty average. Pretty average. Nothing too bad, nothing too great. So yeah, draw a little face on your tummy. That's maybe.
How do you do like I guess they've talked about like in exercise. Targeting areas like is a load of rubbish. Like you do sit-ups, it's not going to like reduce your tummy or anything. But you could just imagine you have to do face exercises like.
I've heard about that, but again, what if you build up muscle and it just makes it worse?
Oh,
have you ever seen someone with a muscly face?
Brick shit house
with
face.
A six-pack cheeks. Couldn't get worse though.
No, I don't know. That does suck. Because, like, what do you say?
The only way I know how to fix it is to just be generally more healthy and lose weight.
But then you'd be, like, really skinny, and then your face will just be normal. That'd be the weird thing.
Then I'll be a lollipop. What's that all about?
Bratz
I don't know.
Get your Sam Bratz dolls from funkytime.
Oh, well, at least I'm a marketing division there. We'll get into that. So... Top heavy.
I reckon that's what we should do, Sam, for the first merchandise. I don't know how you do it, but get some Sam and John bobbleheads for your car. You know those things?
Yes, I have looked at that. A little pricey to get the initial order, but and of course, I don't know if we can. What's the whole manufacturing in different parts of the world right now?
China's rocking. China's like, yeah, we don't have coronavirus anymore. What's up, bitches?
Might be a discount. Could be a little discount.
I can't believe I just said that word. Then we're gonna get pushed down in the rankings.
We're going down. I
literally just said it then. Like
we went trying to avoid this whole episode.
We went the whole episode, and I said it once. Maybe it can't understand my Australian accent. Maybe I can rest on those laurels.
Hopefully.
Anyway,
do we end on that one now that you've ruined it?
I've ruined it. We might as well just. I mean, I could just cut it off before then, but nah. We'll just live with it.
People will be like,
it's not like they're flocking in their thousands to our videos anyway.
They would have.
But anyway, look, if you are listening on the podcast, please check us out on YouTube, Sam and John Show on YouTube. You should be able to find us somewhere down in the rankings.
See the full visual splendor. I did actually Google us on YouTube, and we do show up at the top. I'm quite impressed. Actually, no. Game of Thrones shows up at the top.
Yeah,
you have to type in the Sam and John
Snow
podcast or Sam and John Show.
Yeah. Well, although this is the thing, and I always wonder is like you were logged in, you were on your computer using Google. Like maybe it just remembers you and just shows you.
I don't remember if I incognitoed or not.
Yeah. All right.
Might
So
have to dig deep.
jump on the search. Let us know if we're somewhere towards the top of the list. If you're watching on YouTube, go check out iTunes, Stitcher, check out the podcast. Listen to it in your car while you're not allowed to drive anywhere. I don't know. Just
Just
get
go in your car.
Just get on it, Sam.
Don't go anywhere. Just
And look, I reckon that's ready to rock. I just there it is, Sam. See, I'm not as slick as you.
So slick. Those talk show hosts uploading on their webcams got nothing on Sam and John.
Goodbye.
High five to finish.
Bye-bye. Other side.
Got it.